Perfume is magic worked by science. Its job? To capture the moment. Fragrance takes us back to good times, past loves. The moment we realised our mother could smell of more than just mum.
What I associated when my mum was getting ready, that child's vision of the most beautiful princess, and at that point that was my mother.
The message is romance, but the language is molecules, spoken by perfumers or noses. They're artists, scientists, and philosophers.
So many Americans want to smell clean. They really want to divorce themselves as much as possible from the way their own body truly smells.
There are more astronauts than there are perfumers. They meddle with our memories, but their craft is a mystery. Who are they? Where are they? And how do you become one? In August, New York reeks. Below the surface, citizens endure the commute, breathing hot steel and perspiration. Above ground, a cacophony of scents, riding on wet steam and rotting vegetation. If those odours provoke memories of good times, alternative perfumer Christopher Brosius will bottle them for you.
I think constantly about how things smell. If I'm breathing in and out, on some level, I'm working. Because heaven knows I use a lot of things that have never before been considered as perfume. The smell of the ink that comes out of a magic marker, you know, a box of crayons, a can of paint, and certain kinds of ink, paper bags, cardboard boxes, magazines, all of these things smell terrific.
Brosius makes scents that smell of real things. He has no truck with the mainstream fragrance industry or even most perfume wearers.
So many Americans want to smell clean. That is one of the reasons that I Hate Perfume really came to be. Americans frequently have this idea that perfume is used by the French to cover up the fact that they never shower. This is utterly and completely ridiculous. The French are not afraid of the way people naturally smell. And in fact, sometimes perfumes are designed to really kind of amplify that, to make that really alluring and really erotic and really attractive.
One of his concoctions evokes the scent of a musky, unwashed body.
This one has been known to scare people. It's really a love it or hate it thing. People smell it and like, oh my God, no, I can't wear that. That's just filthy. Let's see what happens with that.
I don't dislike it. I mean, I'm not in love with it, but I wouldn't say that I was scared of it. It smells kind of sweet to me.
It's interesting, smelling around the human body, there are certain parts that smell very, very sweet. This odd kind of like sweet, spicy kind of mix. And that's what that particular scent is really all about.
Really? You like this?
That's great.
These scents can be challenging. Only the brave need apply them.
There are lots of foods, particularly meats, that smell wonderful. Bacon. Bacon is divine. These are fantastic smells.
One celebrity customer hated perfume, but wanted to remember good times around the family dining table.
She came in here and she said, I want something that smells good, but does not smell at all like perfume. I want this. And I said, roast beef? I said, are you absolutely sure? And she said, yes, I am. I want this. I love it. And I said, are you really, really, really sure? And she said, yes.
Christopher Brosius finds beauty in what is real. French perfumer Jean-Claude Elena creates fragrance inspired by fantasy. Elena lives like a monk in a forest, with a single lab technician and the sea breeze for company. He is the Obi-Wan Kenobi of fragrance.
I want to be alone, only with my thought.
It's time to give more philosophy, to give more serenity, to give more spirit and perfumery.
Elena makes olfactory masterpieces with very few, very expensive ingredients.
I like very much, you know, the painting of, well, Cézanne and Matisse, and I like also abstract painting. I don't try to copy the reality. I don't care a damn about the reality.
Because the illusion is more beautiful. It's like a dream. And the dreams are always more beautiful.
Perfumery is an esoteric art. Talking to Jean-Claude, it's going to stay that way.
I think it's very hard for people to understand how to talk about fragrance as well.
So maybe this would be the best way to explain if I compare it to colors. Red, dark and warmth. This is the kind of things that I can do in perfume.
But red, to me, is also hot. Can red be cold?
Can red be cold?
Like blue can?
Can red be cold? Let me think about it.
If colour doesn't offer enough parallels, there's always texture.
So you're saying smells have texture?
No, okay, I can take this one. The thing is, the texture is, in one way it's very cold, because it's still it's cold. It's cold and smooth. This is the kind of things that I can do in perfume. So I can give in this perfume a kind of cold note, quite cold, and smooth. Here it's very rough.
Yes, like concrete.
It's concrete, so it's very rough. And of course I can play with both. Smooth and cold, harsh and dry, because this is very dry.
And I can smell the roughness.
Of course you can smell it.
Elena is the nose for French lifestyle house Hermès, but allegedly doesn't have to make a whiff of anything until he feels inspired.
If you ask me to make what you are looking for, is a disaster already. Because I will not offer you a surprise. But if you ask me, give me a surprise. Here, I'm ready to work month and month and month and month and sleep badly. I want to give you, and I want to share and to give you something that they say, oh yes, yeah, oh this, oh yes, I like it. And it's not a demand, it's a gift.
If you like my way of doing things, this is a plus. But I like very much this approach because we take the time.
Before he was a sorcerer, Elena was an apprentice at the School for Noses. Located just outside Paris, it's run by the biggest chemical company in the fragrance world, Givaudan. The school trains perfumers who win contracts to create fragrances for big-name brands. Jean-Claude Elena went his own way. Today, students are prepared for a corporate life of strict budgets and stricter deadlines. Many apply, few are chosen. This year, there are 5 students. Some years, they don't take any. The principal is master perfumer Jean Guichard. He picks the noses of the future.
A perfumer should be a mixture between a scientist and a poet. When I meet people, I know if they have talent or not. I don't want, to have people who say, well, I dream to be a perfumer, because they make a lot of money. That doesn't interest me at all. Very often candidates, they say, well, my dream is to be a perfumer since I am a little girl or a little boy, I'm dreaming to that, and my grandmother say I've got a fantastic nose and all that. But then when you look at that resume, they have been doing nothing around perfume. Sometimes you've got some people, after 5 minutes you are bored. I say, well, I wouldn't like, to spend 3 years with them. I keep that in mind.
Guichard wants cultured geniuses with winning personalities.
Could I be one?
We can try.
Quentin Bish was a country boy with a dream.
There were flowers everywhere at home. When I was of maybe 8, 9, 10 years old, I was like, oh, I want to create perfume.
Quentin, he doesn't know anything about chemistry, but he was interested in perfumery. He came to see me once.
We talked about cinema, we talked about a lot of things.
It was a complete disaster, he was trying to make perfume, mixing, product he stole, in shops.
After a while, I was sure that it was over. And one nice Thursday afternoon, all the time the phone in my pockets at that time, of course, I saw the 01, so Paris, was like, oh, hello, Quentin, it's Jean Guichard.
So I pre-selected him.
And he told me, if you're still interested, and that was it.
I think he's got a lot of talent.
I was hired, and I'm sorry.
No, it's remarkable.
No, I'm really lucky.
We know in the school how to teach the technique. We don't know how to teach the creativity.
Linda Song had the right stuff, despite her disadvantaged upbringing.
I grew up in a small town called Greeley in Colorado. Anybody in Colorado who they know it, their typical first reaction is, ew. It was very different from Paris. It's funny, I tried to send flowers to my mom for Mother's Day, and especially with being here and exposed to so many different seasonal flowers, I had all these grand ideas of what I was going to send her, and that's just not available in Colorado.
In the hall, a cabinet of liquid trophies.
They are all products made by the people trained by us. Well, what do we have? We've got Poison from Christian Dior, we've got Loulou from Cacharel, we've got Obsession from Calvin Klein, we've got L'Air du Temps, also very important, we've got Kouros. And this one also is doing very well at the moment, that is 1 million from Paco Rabanne. We say that, 1/3 of the products created in the world are created by people trained by our school. One day, I'm sure it will be their products that will be there, for sure.
Right now, the students can only dream of creating scents that will make perfume history, that will carry us back to other times, places, and people.
It makes me think of first love. It makes me think of being 16. The first time I smelt this, it was on a 17-year-old boy when I was 16 years old. And I was at school. He was an absolutely beautiful boy. I'm sure wherever he is right now, he still is.